If you're a man over 60, you need to hear this. The fruit you've been eating for breakfast, the one you've always believed was good for your health, might be the very thing sabotaging your erections. Quietly, consistently, day after day. You may think you're starting your mornings the healthy way, but something very different is happening inside your body. Blood flow is weakening. Testosterone is dipping. And your ability to perform as a man? It's slipping away, without you even realizing why. I'm Dr. Mohit Kara. For over 30 years, I've helped men restore their sexual health naturally. And in this video, I'm going to help you reclaim what aging and misinformation have been slowly taking from you. Because what I'm about to reveal isn't just about fruit. It's about truth. The truth about 7 specific fruits you need to avoid in the morning if you want to protect your erections, energy, and confidence. You've probably never been warned about these fruits. In fact, most men think they're doing their health a favor. But science tells a different story. And once you understand what's really happening, you'll never look at your breakfast the same way again. So stay with me, because the 5th fruit on this list is in nearly every household, and it's causing more harm than you'd ever expect. Let's talk about the truth behind your plate, and how to take back the strength you were born with. Before we dive in, if protecting your manhood matters to you, and you want real, no-nonsense health advice made specifically for men over 60, hit subscribe and turn on the bell. I share tips that could reshape how you age, and how you perform. And if this video resonates with you, type 1 in the comments. If it doesn't, type 0 so I know how to make these even more helpful. Alright, let's get started. The first fruit you need to watch out for, especially if you're over 60 and serious about restoring strong, reliable erections, is likely sitting on your kitchen counter right now. It's quick, convenient, and has been labeled healthy for decades. But when it comes to your sexual health, it may be doing more harm than good. I'm talking about bananas, especially the overripe ones. Fruit 1, bananas, especially overripe. I'll be honest, this one surprised me, too. For most of my life, I believed bananas were the perfect breakfast food. Easy, portable, packed with potassium. But what I didn't know, and what many men over 60 still don't realize, is that soft, spotted bananas could be quietly damaging your ability to get and stay hard. Here's what's happening under the surface. As bananas ripen, their sugar content increases significantly. That sweet, mushy banana you toss into your cereal or smoothie, it's flooding your bloodstream with fast-digesting sugars. When this happens first thing in the morning, it causes a rapid insulin spike. And for older men, that's a serious issue. Insulin is like a hormonal bully. It suppresses testosterone, disrupts nitric oxide production, and inflames the blood vessels your erections rely on. So while you think you're fueling your body, what you're really doing is starving your performance. The damage doesn't show up right away. It's subtle, gradual. Maybe one morning you don't wake up as hard. Then it happens again. Eventually, you chalk it up to aging. But it's not just age, it's breakfast. If you love bananas, here's my advice. Don't eat them on an empty stomach. And never eat them alone. If you must have one, wait until later in the day and pair it with protein or healthy fats to slow the sugar hit. Otherwise, you're setting yourself up for hormonal chaos, at a time in life when your body can't bounce back the way it used to. Now, if you thought bananas were bad, wait until you hear about the next fruit. It's small, sweet, and looks completely harmless. But it's one of the worst offenders when it comes to draining blood flow from your manhood. If you're still watching, and this is opening your eyes, type 1 in the comments to let me know you're with me. Let's move on to the second fruit you need to avoid. Fruit 2, grapes. Grapes were always one of those snacks I reached for without thinking. A handful here, a handful there, straight from the fridge. I thought I was making a smart choice. But what I learned later, as a doctor and as a man in his 60s, changed everything I thought I knew about these little purple bites. Here's the truth. Grapes are packed with natural sugars, especially for their size. They're mostly water and sugar, which means they digest fast. So when you eat them in the morning, especially on an empty stomach, they flood your system quickly. Your blood sugar spikes. That spike triggers a surge of insulin. And again, this is where the problem begins. For men our age, insulin doesn't just balance blood sugar. It starts sabotaging testosterone and tightening the blood vessels that support erections. Over time, this daily cycle of sugar and insulin can chip away at your sexual strength. It's slow, quiet. You don't notice it right away. But eventually, you'll wonder why your mornings feel different. Why your confidence feels off. Why your response to stimulation just isn't the same. And the answer could be sitting in your fruit bowl. If you enjoy grapes, here's what I recommend. Avoid them in the morning. Have them later in the day, ideally after a protein-rich meal when your blood sugar is more stable. That way, you enjoy the taste, without paying the price in the bedroom. But don't go anywhere yet. Because next up is something millions of men drink with breakfast every single day, believing it's a healthy habit. But in reality, it's one of the most dangerous hidden threats to your erections. And it's probably in your fridge right now. Fruit 3. Orange juice. There was a time when starting the day with a glass of orange juice felt right. I'd pour it alongside breakfast, thinking I was doing something good for my body. Vitamin C, right? It felt clean. Refreshing. But the truth. That habit was slowly working against me. And if you're a man over 60 who still drinks orange juice in the morning, you need to hear this. Orange juice isn't a health drink. It's not even a piece of fruit. It's liquid sugar. One glass can contain as much sugar as a can of soda. And because it lacks fiber, fat, or protein to slow down absorption, it slams into your bloodstream within minutes. Blood sugar spikes. Insulin floods in. And once again, testosterone and nitric oxide production are suppressed. Insulin surge shuts down testosterone production and narrows your blood vessels, including the ones that supply blood to your penis. Over time, this morning healthy habit becomes a daily attack on your erection quality. You may feel alert for an hour or two, but by late morning, you crash. Energy dips, motivation drops, and slowly your sexual response weakens until you start believing it's just aging. But it's not. It's your breakfast drink. If you really enjoy citrus in the morning, skip the juice and eat a whole orange instead. The fiber will slow absorption and give you the nutrients without the sugar shock. Or better yet, start your day with water and wait until after a protein-rich meal to enjoy any fruit at all. Now, what I'm about to reveal next is going to surprise you even more because it's a fruit many men believe actually helps with erections. And while that's partly true, when eaten the wrong way, it can silently sabotage your performance without warning. Fruit 4. Watermelon in excess. Now, this one hits close to home because like many men, I used to believe watermelon was a superfood for sexual health. I'd heard it contained citrulline, a compound that can help with blood flow. So, I'd eat big slices on a hot day, feeling like I was doing my body a favor. But what I didn't realize, and what most men over 60 don't understand, is that when you eat watermelon the wrong way, especially in the morning or in large amounts, it can quietly work against the very thing you're trying to protect. You see, watermelon is over 90% water, but it's also packed with natural sugars and has a high glycemic load. That means when you eat it on an empty stomach, especially at breakfast, it floods your system with sugar fast. And that rapid sugar rush can lead to the same hormonal chain reaction we've talked about before. Insulin spikes, testosterone suppression, and reduced nitric oxide. The very circulation you need for strong erections gets interrupted before your day even begins. Even worse, because watermelon digests so quickly, it doesn't keep you full. That means you're more likely to crash mid-morning, reaching for more sugar, starting a cycle that robs you of energy, mood, and confidence. And the worst part, you may never connect that slow decline in your sexual function to a fruit you thought was helping you. If you enjoy watermelon, I won't tell you to stop altogether, but eat it sparingly and never first thing in the morning. Have a few slices after a protein-based lunch when your blood sugar is stable. That's when your body can handle it best without paying the hidden price. But if you think watermelon is sneaky, wait until you hear about the next fruit. It's exotic, sweet, and wildly popular, but it may be the most dangerous one yet for your testosterone and long-term erection health. Of course, below is the rewritten version of fruit number 5, mangoes. Written in a natural, emotionally grounded tone, including personal insight, a clear explanation of how it harms erections, the best time to eat it, if at all, and a strong curiosity-driven transition to the next fruit. If you're still with me and this is helping you see things more clearly, Go ahead and type the number 1 in the comments so I know you're here. Now, let's keep going and take a closer look at the 4th fruit that could be quietly working against you. Fruit 5. Mangoes. I'll admit it. Mangoes are one of my personal favorites. They're juicy, sweet, and bring back memories of summer mornings. For years, I didn't think twice about slicing one up and enjoying it first thing in the morning. But what I didn't understand at the time was that something so delicious could be quietly working against my body, especially my hormones, my circulation, and yes, my ability to perform as a man. Here's the reality most men don't hear about. Mangoes are incredibly high in fructose, the type of sugar that goes straight to your liver. Now, when you're young and active, your body might handle that sugar spike without too much trouble. But after 60, when insulin sensitivity decreases and your liver may already be under strain, that same fruit can lead to real problems. Excess fructose from mangoes contributes to fatty liver buildup, which is directly linked to lower testosterone levels. And when testosterone drops, so does your ability to get and maintain a strong erection. Not only that, but mango's sugar content spikes your blood glucose, triggering that now familiar insulin response that further suppresses the very hormones and vascular function you need for healthy intimacy. And because it digests quickly, you're left hungry again soon after, setting you up for a roller coaster of energy crashes throughout the day. If you love mangoes as much as I do, here's my advice. Treat them like dessert. Enjoy them in small portions after lunch when your blood sugar is stable and you've had protein to buffer the impact. But never eat them alone in the morning. That's when the damage hits hardest. Now, what's coming next is one fruit that looks clean, tropical, and refreshing. Yet, it may be sabotaging your erections faster than all the rest, especially if you've been eating it thinking it helps your digestion. Fruit 6. Pineapple. Pineapple always felt like a symbol of vitality, bright, tropical, and full of flavor. For years, I believed it was one of the best fruits I could eat. Refreshing, loaded with vitamins, and great for digestion. But what I didn't realize, and what so many men over 60 still don't know, is that pineapple might be quietly undermining your manhood. It doesn't seem dangerous. That's what makes it so deceptive. Here's the truth. Pineapple is extremely high in natural sugar, almost deceptively. So, just 1 cup can deliver more than 16 g of sugar with very little fiber to slow it down. When you eat pineapple first thing in the morning, especially by itself, you're setting off a chain reaction. Blood sugar rises quickly, insulin surges, and within minutes, your body is dealing with inflammation, hormonal imbalance, and reduced nitric oxide, the very molecule responsible for creating strong, lasting erections. For older men, this response happens faster and hits harder. Your body doesn't buffer sugar like it used to, which means even healthy-looking choices like pineapple can do silent damage over time. You may not feel the effects today, but over weeks, months, and years, it takes a toll until one day you realize you're not waking up the same way. Your desire fades. Your response weakens, and the link back to pineapple, almost no one sees it. If you enjoy pineapple, have it after lunch or dinner when your body's more prepared to handle the sugar. Never eat it on an empty stomach and never make it a breakfast staple. Now, what I'm about to share next might shock you even more. Because the final fruit on this list doesn't even look harmful. In fact, it's small, dried, and often marketed as a clean, nutritious snack. But for men over 60, it could be one of the worst things you put in your body. Fruit 7. Dried fruit. Raisins, dates, apricots. If there's one group of fruits that fooled me for years, it's dried fruit, raisins, dates, apricots. They always seemed like the smart choice. Small, easy to carry, marketed as natural snacks full of fiber and nutrients. I used to toss a handful into my oatmeal or snack on them with coffee, thinking I was doing something good for my body. But as I dug deeper, both as a doctor and as a man in this stage of life, I came to a hard truth. These innocent little fruits might be doing serious damage where it matters most. Here's why. Dried fruit is really just concentrated sugar in disguise. Once the water is removed, what you're left with is a dense dose of fructose, with very little fiber to slow its absorption. Your body treats it like candy, especially if you eat it first thing in the morning. And for men over 60, that sugar rush sets off a dangerous chain reaction. Insulin spikes. Inflammation rises. Testosterone drops. Blood vessels tighten. You may not feel it immediately, but if your morning erections have been getting weaker or less frequent, this could be one of the hidden culprits. The tricky part. Dried fruit feels healthy. It feels light. But when you eat it by itself, especially on an empty stomach, your body reacts like you just had dessert. If you still want to enjoy dried fruit, here's what I suggest. Keep it minimal, and always eat it after a balanced meal with protein and fat. Never as a standalone breakfast item. Now, we've talked about what to avoid. But what if I told you there are fruits that do the opposite? Fruits that support testosterone, increase nitric oxide, and even help rebuild your erection strength, naturally. Let's talk about those next. 8. What you need to do today. I know this might feel like a lot, especially if some of these fruits have been part of your daily routine for years. Believe me, I get it. I was right there too. For most of my adult life, I truly thought I was eating clean. I believed I was doing everything right. And I never connected the dots between what was on my breakfast plate and what was slowly fading from my life. My energy, my drive, my ability to respond like I used to. But once I saw the pattern, not just in myself, but in patient after patient, the truth became impossible to ignore. These so-called healthy breakfast fruits, they weren't harmless. They were slowly chipping away at erection quality, day by day, sugar spike by sugar spike. Not with obvious warning signs, but with little changes. A bit less stamina here, a bit more frustration there, and eventually, the belief that this is just normal aging. It's not. Here's the good news. You don't have to overhaul everything overnight. But you do have to start. So tomorrow morning, take the first step. Clear your breakfast of the 7 fruits we've covered. Instead, choose foods that stabilize blood sugar and support healthy blood flow. Eggs, avocado, berries, in moderation, plain Greek yogurt, with no added sugar, and skip the juice. Start your day with water. Then listen. Pay attention to how your body responds, because it will. You might be surprised at how quickly things begin to shift. You might even wake up one morning soon, look down, and feel like yourself again. And if you're wondering what foods actually boost erections naturally, stay tuned. In the next section, I'll walk you through the exact fruits that fuel your performance and help restore the kind of strength most men think they've lost for good. 9. Conclusion. So let's bring it all together. If you've made it this far, I want to thank you for staying open, for questioning what you've always been told, and most importantly, for caring enough about your health to dig deeper. Because here's the truth. The 7 fruits we've talked about today, bananas, grapes, orange juice, watermelon, mangoes, pineapple, and dried fruit, don't come with warning labels. They look innocent. They're even marketed as health foods. But when you're a man over 60, your body doesn't handle sugar like it used to. And what seems like a harmless breakfast choice can quietly drain your hormones, restrict your blood flow, and dull your confidence in the bedroom. I've seen it happen again and again, not just in my patients, but in my own life. And I've also seen how quickly things can improve when you make smart, consistent changes. This isn't about fear, it's about power. You're not broken. You're not too old. You're simply operating on outdated information. But now, you know better. And that puts you in control. So tomorrow morning, make a different choice. Say no to the sugary fruits. Choose real nourishment instead. Your energy will rise. Your focus will sharpen. And your erections? They'll come back, maybe not overnight, but sooner than you think. And remember, this is only one piece of the puzzle. There are also foods, including the right fruits, that can actively improve blood flow, support testosterone, and reignite the spark you thought was gone. I'll be sharing those with you next. Because your health, your vitality, and your manhood, they're worth fighting for. Let's rebuild it. One morning at a time.